Now that you are empowered to use a financial calculator in the last video I shared, I want to share with you a situation that's a real situation, but I think it applies to lots of different circumstances. So in this situation, these parents have a daughter who owns a condo and she bought it a couple years ago and she wants to move now, but the interest rates have made it such that she can't really sell it for for a profit. And given the market and expenses to sell property, she'd actually likely have to come to closing with money. And she doesn't want to do that either. So this might happen, like let's say, somebody's got a job move and they need to sell. They can't really rent the property without incurring a loss every month. So what do? So I'm going to propose a possible solution here and kind of work out the specifics with you. So in this case, these are the terms of this was the purchase price. This is the underlying loan. This is the amount of time that the loan is good for. This is the current payment. This is just principal and interest, doesn't include anything else. And I'm gonna try to take this a step at a time and see if I can make this kind of we'll get a little confused with this topic. So I want to see if I can make it as simple as I can. So what I wanted to know is what's the income and expenses of this property? So they estimate that the current rent, if the parents were to buy this property from the daughter, that the rent would be about $2,000 a month. Okay, so that's the income. And then whenever you're doing something like this, you want to show, and you want to find out what are all the expenses. Are there HOAs? In this scenario, I'm proposing that they take over, and that's kind of a loose term. I'm going to share with you what I mean by that. They buy this property and they make the payments as they are. So in this case, that's the mortgage. I'll explain a little bit about that. So here are the other expenses, estimates of the property. So we've got insurance, we have HOA fees, depending on if they there might be like trash expenses, there might be other things here, but I want you to think about in your scenario, what are the expenses and what would you keep back? Because things happen, you need to have reserves for maintenance in the future. In this case, I'm not including a property management fee, but that can be added, space for it. And let's see, how did I do this? Okay, so I added up the total expenses and note that we are at a deficit here. So we have about a $361 shortfall each month. So this does not cash flow. So then now what, right? You're taking over these payments and, is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Let's keep going. This is really just, I'm gonna start in a new video to share my solution. This is really just where we started. So what are what's the possible income and what are all the possible expenses and where do we land? And then you can start to look at what might be able to happen here. So